Start.
Okay. Good morning, students. I am Dilkara Srinivas, School Assistant Biological Science, ZPHS Tirumalagiri Mandal, Suryapet District. Good morning, teachers and students. Welcome to online classes. During these classes, we are discussing about the human reproduction in animals. How the new generations are formed. You know very well, reproduction is one of the most important process in living thing to keep its life in the nature. We are discussing about different types of reproduction process in different animals, in different organisms in the nature. Today we are going to discuss how the human reproduction taking place and how the new generation in human being is formed. So okay, here before going to discuss about the topic, let us think and reflect to the below question. Okay, my dear students, what happens if the animals cannot reproduce? You know the importance of reproduction process. Why the animals adapt to reproduce? If there is no reproduction process, what happens in the nature? What happens if the animals cannot reproduce? Just think about it. Why the frogs and fishes release more number of eggs and sperm into surrounding? Why the advanced organisms perform sexual reproduction process? You know very well. Some of the organisms in the nature are advanced organisms. It means they evaluate very advanced, and some of the organisms are teeny organisms, early primitive organisms, such like microorganisms. They never perform. They sometimes perform asexual reproduction and sometimes perform sexual reproduction. Why the advanced organisms? If we observe the advanced organisms, they perform only sexual reproduction process. Why? And do you think reproduction occurs only for a continuation of life? So these are the questions. Let us to bring out the answers for this question in this class. So here some of the learning outcomes from this lesson. The learner explained the structure of human male reproductive system. The learner can prepare a model of sperm cell. The learner can give reasons why the testes are located outside of the abdominal cavity. And the learner differentiates between external fertilization What is reproduction? Let us discuss again. Reproduction is the ability of an organism to produce another new identical organism in its life. Reproduction is the ability of an organism. You know very well. Reproduction is one of the most important phenomena, most important process in the living organism. We cannot see this reproduction process in non-living thing. So every living organism has the ability to produce another new individual which is identical to the parental organism in its life. It means the identical new generation will be formed in the reproduction, in the life history of the organism. For example, if a banyan tree can produce an identical new banyan tree, if a neem tree produces another neem tree. If the mango tree can produce another mango tree, but not a banana. A mango tree never produce a banana tree. The tiger can produce another tiger, but not human being. A goat can produce another goat, but not a rat or another organism or elephant, whatever. It means a new individual can be produced from the parents. That is the ability. That ability is seen in the living things only. It means the living things can produce the ability. They have the ability of production of a new individual in its life, which are identical to the parental. Okay, here this is the process of reproduction. You know very well. There are two types of reproduction process. You already discussed about. One is the asexual reproduction process. Asexual method of reproduction process. This process we can see in a primitive organisms such as microorganisms and developed organisms. Generally, in our surroundings, we see most of the organisms as male and female form. You can see lioness and a male cock and a female hen, and male human being, man, and a female woman. We can see, but we cannot see in microorganisms such like for differentiation. But in lower organisms, in the differentiation is not seen. In some animals, the formation of gametes does not take place. Here gametes. Let us discuss about these gametes today class. Till they produce offspring like themselves. Even they cannot produce in the asexual reproduction process. They cannot produce gametes. It means they cannot produce reproductive cells. Till they produce offsprings like themselves. Offsprings means new generation. As the formation of gametes does not take place, there is no question of fusion of gametes. We already discussed about these things. Asexual reproduction method means they cannot produce gametes. Single organisms involved in this asexual mode of reproduction process, even though they produce a new offspring in its life, which is totally similar to the parental organisms. The offspring totally similar to the parental organisms. No genetic variation taken place in the asexual reproduction process. Okay, today and next another mode of reproduction process, that is sexual process, sexual reproduction method. Sexual reproduction method means here there may be single or two parental organisms may be involved in this reproduction process. There should be production of gametes taking place. Gametes means the reproductive cells. The male gametes and male organism produce male gametes, and female organism produce female gametes. The fusion of gametes of male and female taken place in the sexual reproduction process. During the sexual reproduction, this sexual reproduction occurs by the fusion of male reproductive cell or ovum, not sperm, and the male reproductive and the female reproductive cell, that is ovum. The fusion of male reproductive cell and female reproductive cell taken place here in the sexual reproduction process. And here you can see the male, how the fusion of male and female gametes taken place here. Male organisms and female organisms, they are distinct in the nature in advanced organisms. They are separately in the nature in the advanced organism. Some of the organisms may contain male and female reproductive organs in the same organism. We can see this type of method, this type of arrangement in earthworm. And here generally the male and female organisms are separate in the nature. That is a unisexual organism. And male organism contain the male organs, that is the testicles. And female organisms contain female reproductive organ, that is ovary. And male organism prepare a cell, male reproductive cell, that is sperm cell, are also called spermatozoa. And female organism, from the female reproductive organ ovaries, they produce ovum. These are called female reproductive cells. By the fusion of male and female reproductive cells, it means the fusion of sperm cell and ovum, zygote will be formed. This fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. During the fertilization process, the zygote will be formed. This zygote is called the fusion of the single cell. Zygote is in diploid condition. The sperm cell in haploid condition. It means one set of chromosomes are present in the sperm cell and one set of chromosomes present in the ovum. This is also in haploid condition. By the fusion of sperm cell and ovum, the diploid zygote will be formed. This process is called fertilization. During the sexual reproduction process, the fertilization process takes place and forms result in the zygote. And after undergone so many mitotic divisions, the zygote converted into embryo, and after undergone so many mitotic divisions, the embryo forms adult organism. So this is the sexual reproduction process. Male and female organisms, male organs and female organs. And male organs, female organs release male cells and female cells. Male gametes and female gametes fuse in the result in formation of a zygote. That is called fertilization. And during the fertilization, embryo is formed. And here, my dear students, okay, this fertilization process occurs in two types. Sometimes in some organisms, this fertilization occurs outside of the body of the female organism. It means the male gametes and the female gametes are released into outside of the body. Then the fertilization, then the fusion of male and female gametes taken place where in outside of the body. This type of fertilization is called external fertilization. It means the fusion of male and female gametes taken place in the outside of the body. That's why it is called external fertilization. External means outside of the body. Fusion of male and female gametes taken place in the outside of the body, outside environment of the body. External fertilization is a common in aquatic animals like most of the fishes and amphibians. Fishes and amphibians, they are aquatic organisms, aquatic animals. The external fertilization process adapts in the aquatic organism. The female lays vast number of eggs in the water, and the male release some millions of the sperm cell on them. As a result, as the chance of fertilization is controlled by the nature which occurs externally, that's why it is called external fertilization. During this external fertilization process, the vast numbers of eggs and the millions of the sperm cells should be released to the outside of the body. And the fertilization process taken place by the control of the nature. This is the one of the amazing things in the nature which happens to fertilize ovum and eggs. And it results in to form a more number of new offspring of such organisms such as fish or amphibians. So this is called external fertilization. It means the fertilization and means the fusion of male and female gametes taken place outside of the body. That's why it is called external fertilization. We can see this external fertilization in aquatic animals. And another fertilization process is also there, that is internal fertilization. Internal means inside of the body. The fusion of male and female gametes taken place inside of the body. The fertilization occurs inside of the body of the female organism. That's why it is called internal fertilization. Animals which fertilization is internal have some arrangements for ensuring that the sperm enter into the body of the female. Here, to perform internal fertilization process, the male organism release the sperm cell into the body of the female organism, and there the fertilization process taken place in the inside of the body of the female organism. The arrangement is separate. In external fertilization, there is no separate arrangements in the body of the female, because female release ova into the surroundings and male release sperm cell into the surroundings. But here in internal fertilization, the sperm cell release into the body of the female, there should be the separate arrangements in the body taken place in the organism. We can see this organism, this type of fertilization process in insects, snakes, lizards, birds, and mammals. All advanced organisms are adapt this type of internal fertilization process. Okay, here internal fertilization, how the internal fertilization takes place, we already discussed here. Now let us go to discuss about the internal fertilization process in placental mammal. You know the placental mammals. You know there are so many there is a classification in fishes, amphibians, aves, amphibian reptiles, birds, and mammals. And mammals adapt a sexual reproduction method and internal sexual reproduction method. Here, a lot of various parts are arranged in male reproduction system, and male organism also there, female organisms also there in human being. Sexual unicellular organisms, these are, they perform sexual reproduction method. Here, so many organs are present in human male reproductive system. Here you can see the testes and urethra, epididymis, prostate gland, seminal vesicles, vas deferens, urinary bladder and ureter, and penis. These are the main important organs in the male reproductive system. One of the male reproductive system, there are testes and gland system and duct system. These are the three major groups. Testes are the reproductive organ in the human male reproductive. Testes are located outside of the abdominal cavity within a pouch called scrotum. In male, there are three groups: testes, these are called male reproductive organs, and the duct system and the gland system. Testes are the reproductive organs. They produce sperm cell, along with they produce the male reproductive hormone, that is testosterone. This testosterone is a male reproductive organ, male reproductive hormone, which brings the secondary sexual characters in male. So here you can see testes are located outside of the body. A pouch-like structure is there outside of the body. That pouch-like structure is called scrotum. In each testis, there are several lobules are present. Here you can see the diagram here. Several lobules are present. It means several chambers are present. Each chamber contains several tubules. These tubules are called the seminiferous tubule. Here you can see the diagram. There, each testis contains several lobules. Each lobule contains several tubules. These tubules are called the seminiferous tubule. The internal layers of the seminiferous tubules covered with a layer that cover with the cells. That cells are called germinal epithelium. The tissue of the germinal epithelium undergone so many mitotic divisions and one meiotic division and form number of cells. These cells are called sperm cell. Okay, here each testis contains several lobes, and each lobe contains several tubules. These tubules are called seminiferous tubules, and the tissue of seminiferous tubules lined with germinal epithelium. The layers, the cells of the germinal epithelium undergone so many mitotic divisions and one meiotic divisions results in the production of sperm cell, which are in haploid condition. And these sperm cell, millions of the sperm cell is moved to the duct system into vas efferentium. Okay, here you can see, you can observe here It is the model of an orange. If we cut an orange into transverse section, here several lobules are present. These are lobes, number of lobes. And we also observing here several tubules are present. These tubules, seminiferous tubules, and they produce sperm cell. And let us observe internal section, internal transfer section of testis. Here it is a model of testis. It is the orange model. If we cut orange, if we observe the transfer section of orange, you can observe several. Each lobule contains several tubules, the smallest particles here, tube-like structures. These tubules are tube-like structures. Here you can see are seminiferous tubules, which release the sperm cell. You should remember this is one of the model. Just to understand the internal structure of testis, it is the only model. We are observing the tubules, the seminiferous tubules. They secrete. You know the citrus fruits release the juice-like structures from these tubules here, as well as our testis also release the sperm cell in that type of tubule, seminiferous tubule. Okay, you can cut the lemon or orange or water. It is one of the model of the internal structure of. We can easily understand the. Okay, my dear students, you can also do this activity at your home. Thank you. And here we already discussed major components of human reproductive system is testis and duct system and a gland system. Testis are, you know very well, testis are located in the scrotal sac, already discussed, now already observed here on model. And the duct system contain vas efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferentia. Vasa efferentia, it is the seminiferous tubules opens into vas efferentia, where the seminiferous tubules release the sperm cell, and the sperm cell released into vas efferentia, they carry sperms into the epididymis. And epididymis, the vas efferentia open into epididymis, which is highly coiled tube located along the posterior side of the testis. The sperms are stored in the epididymis. This is a very important one. The sperms are produced in seminiferous tubules and released into duct system. It is vas efferentia, and from that vas efferentia to epididymis, it is a bunch of tubules, that is epididymis, and epididymis helps in storage of sperm cell, and this epididymis released the sperm cell into vas deferentia. From each epididymis arises vas deferens, which ascends into the abdominal cavity, looping around the ureters. Okay, and another one, that is the duct system. Duct system contain gland system contain seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and Cowper glands. These are the three types of gland system are present in human male reproductive system. Seminal vesicles, they are open into the vas deferens. They produce seminal fluid. It is the source of energy for the sperm, and they are outside of the body. And another, prostate gland, the main function of the prostate gland is to secrete prostate fluid, which is one of the component of semen. It supplies nutrients to the sperm cell. And Cowper glands, secretion of these glands helps to neutralize the acidity in the walls of the urethra and the free flow of the sperm cell. So these are the three types of glands are present in the gland system of male reproductive system. And ejaculatory duct is also present in the male reproductive system. The duct from seminal vesicles join the vas deferens and continues as ejaculatory duct. Two ejaculatory duct join at the center of the urethra. In our urinary system, it is also called as urinogenital duct. And you can see here how the human reproductive system is works here. You can watch this video. Male reproductive system. This is the diagram of male reproductive system. As you can see, this is the testis. One pair of testis is present in the body. And this is epididymis, forms by the elongation of vas efferentia, and a pair of vas deferens here. You can see this vas deferens, and the seminal vesicle, one pair of seminal vesicles are present here. And the testes are located in the scrotum. If we observe the internal structure of testis, this seminiferous tubules, we are blinking here, you can observe here. Seminiferous tubules, these are. And these seminiferous tubules produce a sperm cell, vas efferentia. You can see here. And a pair of epididymis. It means vas efferentia stores, results as the epididymis. I can see the urethra here. The sperm cell is going outside of the body, expelling outside of the body. A pair of vas deferentia. And one pair of seminal vesicles are present. The fluid of seminal vesicles released into urethra along with the sperm cell, and that is called semen. And this is an ejaculatory duct. Here you can see urethra. This is urethra. The fluid which is secreted by the seminal vesicles and all ducts, Cowper glands and all ducts released into urethra. This fluid is called the seminal plasma. This seminal plasma mixed with the sperm cell and called semen. This semen is released outside of the body, and the seminal plasma supplies the nutrients to the sperm cell. And let us discuss a passage of spermatozoa here. How the spermatozoa is released out of the body from seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules produce sperm cells, and from that onwards, vasa efferentia, and from that onwards, epididymis. Here, the sperm cells stored here for some time in the epididymis, and from that, vas deferentia, and from that onwards, ejaculatory duct, and finally urethra. And from that urethra, the sperm cells are released out, expelled out of the body. Okay, this is a structure of male reproductive system. And one question here, my dear students, think why the testes are located outside of the abdominal cavity. You can observe the testes are located outside of the body. You can observe in mammals and goats and sheep and cows and buffaloes. You can see, you can observe it. Why it is located outside of the abdominal cavity? It means the scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of the testes. It means it reduces 2 to 2.5 degrees of temperature lower than the body temperature. If the testis is located inside of the body, It is a higher temperature inside of the body. It is not useful. It is not as prominent situation to the production of sperm cell in the body. So the testes are located outside of the body to prevent this high temperature of high body temperature. Okay. Here, let us discuss the structure of sperm cell. You know already, the sperm cell, number of millions of the sperm cell released in the seminiferous tubules and passes to the duct system from vas deferens, epididymis to vas deferens and urethra. And here, the sperm cell contains one head and neck, middle piece, and a tail. These are 4 parts. Head is located at top most position of the sperm cell, and head contains a cap-like structure that is acrosome. You can see the diagram. Acrosome is helps in the penetrating the ovum during the fertilization process. And head contains a large space, central space of the nucleus. That nucleus is a haploid in condition. In haploid means it contains only one set of chromosomes. That is called haploid one. Diploid means 2 sets of chromosomes are present in diploid condition. One set of chromosomes, you know very well about chromosome. 2 set of chromosomes are present. 46 chromosomes are present in human cell. It means 46 means 23 pairs of chromosomes are present. If 46 pairs of chromosomes are present in a cell, that cell is in diploid condition. If half of the chromosomes, it means 1 set of chromosomes are present in that cell, is called haploid condition. Here only 1 set of chromosomes are present in the nucleus. That's why it is called in haploid condition. This haploid nucleus fuses the haploid ovum and finally results in the diploid zygote. That's why this is a haploid nucleus. And this nucleus and another piece is another part is there, that is neck, or next join the middle piece and the head. And this middle piece contains so many number of mitochondria. These mitochondria release energy to move and helps in movement of the sperm cell. The sperm cells are minute one. The sperm cells are microscopic one and motile one. Motile means they have the ability of movement in the female reproductive system. And this is the middle piece, and finally a tail is also present. This tail is also helps in movement of sperm cell. Okay, here you can see how the sperm cell is moving in the female reproductive system. Here you can see the head and acrosome is also present here. Acrosome is helps in penetrating the ovum in female reproductive system. This is acrosome. And here you can see how the sperm cell is penetrating. This is middle section. Contains so many number of mitochondria to release energy, and they are released into the female reproductive system, and finally penetrate the ovum and results in the fertilization process. That's why it is called internal fertilization process. And I think, my dear students, you understood the lesson, and let us recall the topic. Okay, reproduction is an ability of an organism to produce another identical organism in its life, is called a reproduction. Sexual reproduction occurs by the fission of female reproductive cell or ovum and the male reproductive cell or the sperm cell. This is called sexual reproduction process. And fertilization occurs outside of the body of the female organism is called external fertilization process. And fertilization occurs inside of the body of female organism is called internal fertilization. Seminiferous tubules, this is the pathway of the sperm cell, how the sperm cells are released outside of the body. Seminiferous tubules, vas efferentia, epididymis, and vas differentia, ejaculatory duct, and urethra. Okay, my dear students, I hope that you understood the lesson, and this is the time of evolution, and try to bring out the answers to the following question. What happens if the animals cannot reproduce? And what are the reasons why the testes are located outside of the abdominal cavity? We already discussed this thing. And what are the differences between external fertilization and fertilization? And prepare a model of a sperm cell. You can prepare a model of sperm cell at your home. Explain the structure of human male reproductive system. These are the questions, and try to bring out the answers to the following questions. And I hope that you understood the topic. And once again, I will thank you. I would like to thank our technical team and the teacher who helped me. Thank you very much. Srinivas, Bioscience School Assistant. Thank you.